Welcome to Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. I'm your host, Jill Jardine, Master's in Counseling Psychology, professional astrologer, psychic healer, and yogi. In this episode, I'm going to share information about Jupiter's second round of his transit through the sign Aries, which goes from December 20th, 2022 through May 16th, 2023. There's a different vibe this time around when Jupiter re-enters Aries for a 6-month sojourn. Stay tuned until the end of the episode for the forecast of how this will affect each zodiac sign. Welcome to the episode on Jovial Jupiter transiting into the fire sign of Aries. You'll want to hear what to expect as this benefic cosmic giant shifts signs. Go back and listen to my previous podcast on Jupiter transiting through Aries, which was released during the spring of 2022. Some of the information in this podcast will be the same, but there's a whole new planetary vibe occurring in 2023 when Saturn shifts into Pisces and Pluto goes into Aquarius beginning in March. And Jupiter will be transiting Aries, and so will the Sun in March. A lot of new energies to look forward to, new beginnings. Jupiter transited Aries from May 11th, 2022 through October 29th, 2022, and then backtracked through the late degrees of Pisces. So it was a time of completion. But on December 20th, 2022, the jolly giant Jupiter, the Cosmic Santa Claus, is back just in time for Christmas. Jupiter jumps back into Aries from December 20th, 2022 through May 16th, 2023. We will be feeling big shifts of energy when the cosmic giant Jupiter opens up new portals and potentials. Stay tuned to the end of this episode to find out what Jupiter in Aries means for your zodiac sign. In this episode, I'm going to discuss the significance of Jupiter in Aries, what Jupiter symbolizes in astrology, what the sign Aries means for this transit, and historical backdrop of previous Jupiter transits through Aries. You'll notice a theme during that part of the episodes which will help us prepare for this upcoming transit. Jupiter will gather speed through the early months of 2023 as he jolts through Aries, getting to the mid-degrees of the sign by March 2023. March is when the astrological antics are amped up due to Saturn changing signs into Pisces on the full moon of March 7th, when the sun is in Pisces and the moon is in Virgo. And then Pluto purges forth into Aquarius on March 23rd on the heels of the spring equinox. Everything is up for renewal as that spring equinox kicks in on March 21st, and planetary pacing into the new reality is full speed ahead. In Western astrology, Jupiter will be transiting Aries until May 2023. While in Vedic astrology, Jupiter will be transiting Pisces. Jupiter finally transits into Aries in Vedic astrology beginning in April 2023. There are different takes on the Jupiterian energies in the Western astrological system, called tropical astrology, and the Vedic system, called the sidereal zodiac. Because I have been a Western astrologer for 30 years, I will be looking at Jupiter and Aries through a tropical astrology lens. Jupiter transiting into Aries begins a new zodiacal cycle, as Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's a big deal astrologically because Jupiter, considered the most benefic planet in astrology, that means good, is also known as Guru in Vedic astrology and referred to as the Cosmic Santa Claus sometimes in Western astrology because he comes bearing gifts of wisdom, expansion, and spiritual unfoldment. In modern astrology, Jupiter is given rulership of the sign Sagittarius, which is a fellow fire sign to Aries. We will get lit up with this fiery infusion of inspiration and activity. We will be launching new projects, new plans, and initiating things that will have staying power for the next 12 years. There will be many new developments in technologies, industries, and startups. Aries is an enterprising sign, so we will see the rise of the entrepreneur and new ways of thinking in general. The downside of Aries is that it is impulsive and ruled by Mars, an aggressive planet. So we may also see more martial movements across the planet, including wars and skirmishes. Aries is quick to ignite, but it's also quick to die out. So what is started during this cycle may not reach completion. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system and in astrology is known as the Great Benefic and the Expander. It is generally agreed upon by astrologers that any Jupiter transit to your natal birth chart will be a good transit. I like to refer to Jupiter as the Cosmic Santa Claus or bestowing the Midas touch, because wherever Jupiter transits in your chart, it will bestow blessings. If you want more prosperity, Jupiter can bring you prosperity. If you want children, Jupiter will bring you children. Jupiter brings expansion, happiness, and higher knowledge. Jupiter does things on a big scale. Therefore, it always gives a lot. This can be for better or for worse. Remember, expansion can sometimes be too fast or in the wrong places. For example, I always warn my clients when they have Jupiter going over their ascendant sun or moon in their natal chart to be careful not to overindulge or they will gain weight and take on more debt. Jupiter is optimistic, so it can sometimes try to expand too fast and like a balloon being blown up with too much helium, it can pop. Jupiter will certainly bring us prosperity if we focus on it and if it is affecting our chart in a good way, our natal birth chart, that is. Jupiter enhances whatever it touches. Jupiter is the Karaka in Vedic astrology, meaning the significator for the following: husband, sons, knowledge, philosophy, religion, gurus, teacher. Karaka, as I said, is a Sanskrit word for significator, meaning Jupiter can bring you the husband, the guru, the teacher, knowledge. Here are some positive Jupiter attributes: aspiration, generosity, benevolence, confidence, reverence, charitableness, and kindness. Jupiter has some negative sides, including extravagance, indulgence, fanaticism, bigotry, pompousness, impracticality, and gullibility. Jupiter's effects are to expand our experiences, our knowledge, and our understanding. Jupiter represents optimism, growth, generosity, joy, and abundance. With Jupiter transiting Aries, we may see people taking the my way or highway approach to life. People will be very fiery about their opinions and beliefs and may try to enforce them upon others. On a positive note, Jupiter in Aries will help us if we take action, lead, initiate, and inspire others to self-actualize and stand in their power. Faith in ourselves can bring about auspicious outcomes, positive circumstances, or good luck. Interestingly enough, Jupiter will be going through Aries, and in Chinese astrology, we start the new year, the lunar new year of the rabbit, on January 22nd, 2023. And the good thing about the lunar new year of the rabbit, it bestows good luck. So that coincides with Jupiter in Aries. It should be a lucky year from at least the end of January through April 2023. We get a fresh start with Jupiter in Aries to reinvent our lives and move forward with confidence, letting bygones be bygones. Release past failures or challenges, realizing they made us stronger. Seize new opportunities coming your way at this time. Don't make any rash decisions or do anything impulsively, although Jupiter and Aries make people focus on the good in the now. So be prudent with Jupiter and Aries, because you may go after that offer that's too good to be true, and then you'll have buyer's remorse. So use some discernment when Jupiter's in Aries, because you'll want to grow fast and you'll want to take on maybe more than you can chew. Be careful and consider the pros and cons before rushing into a commitment or a new project. Don't be quick to pull the trigger or make impulsive decisions that you will regret or have buyer's remorse on later, especially when Jupiter shifts into prudent Taurus after late April and spends most of the year there, because Jupiter in Taurus is so different from Jupiter in Aries. Jupiter in Taurus will be very much limited on expansion and will pull back on that generous energy. Jupiter in Taurus is more of the realist, where Jupiter in Aries is like, go, 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 now, 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 la, 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 live for the day. Jupiter in Taurus is, I got to pace myself. I got to make this money last for the rest of my life. Speaking of Jupiter, the higher vibration of Jupiter looks for perspective. Jupiter's perspective isn't a detached, analytical, or detailed look at any given situation, but an overview, a look at the big picture. What's going to go down in the next 12 years? That's because Jupiter traditionally is ruled by Sagittarius, the big picture sign. With Jupiter, ideally, we are able to rise above pettiness, mundane concerns, inconveniences, and the like. Ask your astrologer where Jupiter is traveling through your chart so you can see where you will be getting a nice boost in your life. In other words, where's Aries located in your natal birth chart? What sector out of the 12 houses? Is it going through the first house, your house itself? The second house, your money house? Woohoo! You'll get some money, honey. Third house, communication. Start getting your communication platforms going. Fourth house, a home. Great time to buy a house and improve the house that you already have or your living situation. Fifth house of children. What? You want another child? Well, Jupiter will certainly deliver if you are of the age where that can happen. But don't forget, children can be children of the body, mind, or spirit. So maybe with Jupiter transiting a fifth house, it's time to write your book, or it's time to bring that creativity to a next level. Take that pottery class. If it's going through your sixth house, that's your house of health. Time to go see those doctors and get all the health situations taken care of so that you can get good news back, as opposed to as if Saturn was transiting through your house of health. It may not be such good news. If Jupiter's going through your seventh house of relationship, woohoo, new love, or what a great time to get married or get a committed relationship. Jupiter through your eighth house would bring monies that you didn't even know you had, or bringing monies. Or Jupiter through your eighth house could bring in that wealthy partner you've been waiting for. Jupiter loves the ninth house in astrology because that's all about travel and exploring new horizons. Jupiter going through your 10th house would bring you new career opportunities. Jupiter transiting your 11th house would also give positivity when interacting with friends and groups and allow you to look at your future. And then Jupiter through your 12th house, well, it's the end of a cycle, and perhaps spirit is reaching out, or you can connect with that deceased loved one when Jupiter is going through your 12th house. So depending on where your Aries in your birth chart is located will let you know what's happening. Contact your astrologer, JillJardineAstrology.com, to find out where is Jupiter transiting through your natal chart. Now let's look at previous times that Jupiter transited Aries, so we can see if there are any historical patterns. Also, if you were born with Jupiter in Aries, this is a very important cycle for you as it is your Jupiter return. Ching, ching, ching. Lucky, lucky. Jupiter is the great benefic in astrology. So, experiencing a Jupiter return to its natal position will bring luck and expansion. So, listen carefully to the previous Jupiter and Aries cycle. I'll go back from the most recent to the 1930s. The last time Jupiter transited Aries was from June 6, 2010 through September 8, 2010. And then again, it went from January 22nd, 2011 to June 4th, 2011. So that second cycle, January 22nd, 2011 to June 4th, 2011, is what you need to look at as Jupiter goes into Aries again in late December through May of 2023. Think about what was going on in your life 12 years ago. Perhaps you will take whatever you were doing back then to the next level. So again, that's early 2011, first 6 months of 2011. Think back, what was happening? Before that, Jupiter was transiting Aries from February 12th, 1999 through June 28th, 1999. And again, October 23rd, 1999 through February 14th, 2000. Before that, it was a clean year from March 2nd, 1987 through March 8th, 1988. That whole year, basically, between 87 and 88. Before that, March 18th, 1975 through March 26th, 1976. April 3rd, 1963 through April 12th, 1964. Before that, April 21st, 1951 through April 28th, 1952. And if we go way, way back, May 11th, 1939 through October 26th, 1939, and December 20th, 1939 through May 16th, 1940. So go back and figure out what was going on in your life during any of those years. Also, we could look back in history, see if there was anything significant happening. So Cliff Notes version would be 1999, 1987 through 88, 1975 through 76, 1963 to 64, 1951 to 52, and 1939 to 1940. So if we look at the beginning of this Jupiter retrograde in Aries from 1939 to 1940, that was World War II. That was when the United States had not yet joined the war, but it was raging in Europe. So the world was not at ease because of a world war, and there was scarcity and rationing. That rationing thing kind of happened when Jupiter was in Aries in 2022. Then when Jupiter was in Aries during 1951 through 52, America was involved in the Korean War and the Cold War with Russia had begun. The baby boom was in full swing, and the prosperity of the 1950s in America was kicking in. It continued through the transit of Jupiter in Aries from April 1963 through April 1964. Lots of technologies with new cars, the growth of suburbia, and rock and roll. Good times in 1963 and 64 when Jupiter was going through Aries. However, during that transit of Jupiter in Aries from 1963 and 64, Americans' involvement in the War of Vietnam had begun. 3 North Vietnamese torpedo boats attacked the U.S. destroyer Maddox in the Gulf of Tonkin. Also, JFK was assassinated during that 1963-64 cycle of Jupiter in Aries. He was assassinated right in the middle of it on November 22nd, 1963. Weirdly enough, the U.S. Postal Service launched the zip code system in 1963. The Beatles released I Want to Hold Your Hand, and Meet the Beatles album came out. So that was great for rock and roll. So the next time Jupiter came into Aries from March 1975 to March 1976, Americans' involvement in the Vietnam War had ended. There were some interesting technologies as Sony introduced Betamax videotapes. VHS was here. Jaws came out, and there was a recession. during that cycle from 1975 to March 1976. When Jupiter transited Aries in the 1980s, it was from March 2nd, 1987 to March 8th, 1988. The United States President Ronald Reagan delivered its famous speech at the Berlin Wall in West Berlin. The U.S. stock market crashed on Monday, October 19th, 1987, Black Monday. And there was the bombing of the Pan Am jet over Lockerbie in Scotland in 1988. So that transit wasn't a very positive one. But then we have Jupiter transiting again in 1999 through 2000. And that was from February 12th, 1999 through June 28th, 1999, October 23rd, 1999 to February 14th, 2000. And guess what? Everyone was partying like it was 1999 because it was. Y2K came and everyone thought computers would crash, but they didn't. And then the most recent was from 2010 through 2011. When Jupiter transited Aries, the U.S. Affordable Care Act passed. There was a nuclear disaster at Fukushima power plant, and there was the Occupy Wall Street. So interesting. If we see what was going on, there were wars beginning and ending. In the later decades, there were new initiatives, expansions, and space missions. There was also a lot of financial fluctuation during the Jupiter transiting through Aries. And then there were some disasters. However, the new initiatives and the new things coming into the collective awareness also stand out. So it's an exciting time. It's a time of new beginnings. It's a time of endings. It tends to bring in new things into the collective awareness and collective consciousness. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in early 2023. In the next segment, I'm going to talk about Jupiter transiting your sun sign and what that means for you. So stay tuned. So starting with Aries, Jupiter is transiting your sign. It's going to be very beneficial and significant for you as Jupiter is lighting up your sun. This transit will bring improvements to your immediate environment, more self-consciousness, and you'll be feeling more generous. You'll be more expansive, exuberant, and enthusiastic. You may experience sudden bouts of good luck and things flowing smoothly. Events will occur that help you to overcome problems that previously seemed challenging or even insurmountable. You'll get through it easier and you'll have a different perspective. And you're not going to sweat the small stuff. Taurus, Jupiter entering Aries, the sign just before you, places the lucky planet in your 12th house, feeding your soul. This is a cycle in which you become more compassionate, empathetic, and sensitive. Jupiter offers spiritual protection. This is a time when you can get rid of your self-destructive tendencies and deep-seated fears. Gemini, you'll receive benefit from friends, networking activities. You'll be able to formulate your long-term goals. Maybe there'll be new acquaintances, clubs, and organizations that you join. You can rely on your friends for their help and support, and your circle of friends could most certainly increase during this fruitful transit. Achieving your goals may come more easily, and you'll have all kinds of new ideas that you're ready to implement. Cancer. Aries is going through your 10th house, so you may get increased public recognition and professional success. It can be a time of achievement, career advancement, and success in business. Business-related travel or reaching a wider audience is possible during this time period. You may come into the limelight. There could be a promotion, new job opportunities, a diploma, an important award, or possibly a marriage. You get help from authority figures. They believe you and they support you. Leo, travel, baby. You may have opportunities to travel, study, go abroad, expand your horizons. That's because Jupiter in Aries is going through your 9th house. Business dealings, particularly long-distance ones, and those involving publicity and promotion are very profitable. If there's any legal matters they'll work out for you. Or old legal problems or long-standing ones can be ironed out. Teaching and learning are favored during this cycle. Start writing. Virgo, you may see benefits in any of the areas ruled by the 8th house, which is where Aries, Jupiter is transiting in your chart. Finances, shared resources, loans, taxes, sex, intimacy, healing, personal transformation, research, investigation, and psychological matters are all favored. It's a time of increased psychological understanding, and you could also accumulate wealth, or you might find that wealthy partner. Libra, this will help your 7th house, which is partnership. That's where Aries rules. So there'll be benefits through marriage, getting into relationship, partnerships, business partnerships, negotiations, and contractual agreements. Scorpio, you will see benefits with your work and health and other daily routines. This transit enhances your ability to handle the details required to do a good job. This is really good for finding a new job and also for finding money from work. And any type of service that you provide will go well. Sagittarius, Jupiter enters Aries and it lights up your creative 5th house. So this is good for romance, for children, and recreation. Love and romance may come into your life, or an existing romance is enhanced. You become the social butterfly, and there's good luck for things involving children. Capricorn, Jupiter entering Aries helps out home, family, property, domestic comfort. If you want to increase benefits in your house or improve your house, real estate is very much favored. So buying or selling real estate is very good for you at this time if you're in the market. Home improvements and renovations are favored. And if you've been waiting to move to a new dwelling, this is a good time to do it. Aquarius, Aries rules your 3rd house of education and communication. So start communicating. Get that podcast to a new level. You may increase your knowledge and skill set and really like it. You could become a teacher of sorts, and you may get some really, really good news. It's a time to express your ideas with more enthusiasm and positivity, and they will be received well. And finally, Pisces. You'll feel more confident, enthusiastic about your ability to earn a living, and this can help you attract more income. You might decide to develop talents during this Jupiter cycle. Your income will increase because Jupiter transiting through Aries is through your 2nd house of money. Make the money, honey. Money problems from the past will clear up. You could get a raise, a loan. Just don't overextend and overspend, Pisces. But put some energy into fixing your finances, and Jupiter will help you. I hope you enjoyed this episode on Jupiter's transit through Aries in 2023. Remember to subscribe, download, share, and give us a 5-star review. This is Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine, sending healing, jovial, Jupiterian vibrations through the quantum field. Da.